Please take a moment to increase the brightness on your device for optimal viewing. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sketchy Friendler, where every day I tell you a story and I draw a picture to go along with it. Now today I'm going to tell you about one of my most favorite museums in all of Japan, the Ghibli Museum. But first, just some real quick things I need to talk about. If you are wondering why I'm drawing in blue pencil, it's just something preliminary that I do. Bear with me. I will get into drawing regular pencil. 2, if you cannot see what I'm drawing, then just crank your brightness on your viewing device all the way up. And 3, if you're on your cell phone and you can't see what I'm drawing because it's too small, then I would just suggest that you turn your cell phone horizontal so it fills up the screen. And with that, let's get to this. So, as I was saying, this is my favorite museum in all of Japan, in Tokyo, or it's in the outskirts of Tokyo. It's like in one of the suburbs. It is a museum that is dedicated to Ghibli, Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it, which is a Japanese animation company. And you might be familiar with their work if you've seen My Neighbor Totoro or Princess Mononoke Hime, or some of the movies that they've done. And their most famous animator director is his name is Miyazaki, Hayao Miyazaki, and he's been called the Disney of Japan, the Walt Disney of Japan. And there is a museum that you have to book way in advance before you even get to Japan, like months in advance, is the Ghibli Museum, which has all the stuff from Studio Ghibli. And they even have like special movies, little shorts that you can watch there that you can only watch there, that you can't see anywhere else. And what I'm drawing is a robot from my favorite Ghibli movie, which is Castle in the Sky. Raputa is what they call it in Japan. And it's really cool. Like, if you've ever seen his work, I think he's done House Moving Castle and Spirited Away. If you've seen those, they're just very whimsical, very interesting stories. And the art is amazing. And at this museum, they actually have one of these robots from Castle in the Sky, and it's huge. It's this gigantic, life-size, ancient robot from this movie. I'm astounded by it, and it's cool because if you, like I said, you have to book this like from wherever you are, like months in advance. You can't just go to Japan and waltz in and think you're going to get into this place because it's so popular, and everybody and their grandma knows about it that goes to Japan. So you gotta book in advance to go here. But if you can do it, do it. If you're into animation and especially if you're into Ghibli movies. I mean, even if you're not, if you don't even know what it is, if you just like kind of fantastical, animated stuff, you will definitely appreciate it. And you get some really good pictures. If you go there, you take some pictures of this stuff because it's all like it's just like Disneyland. They bring all that stuff that you've seen in the cartoons to life. to see it in 3D, that tangible, you can touch it. That is awesome. It's so worth it. So worth getting doing it all in advance to get to go to see it. It's so worth it. I don't know if most people have probably heard about My Neighbor Totoro. If they haven't heard about Ghibli, I'm sure they've probably seen it if you've got kids or grandkids and they've maybe made you watch it. Totoro. Such a cool story. I love most of stuff that Miyazaki does. Some of his newer stuff I haven't really been that into, but for the most part, I definitely would recommend watching these or sharing it with a little kid if they haven't seen it. And yes, they're Japanese, but Disney actually translated and subtitled and dubbed all the movies, so you can watch them in English, and Disney has them. So, yeah, I think you can watch them on. Also, I think they're on HBO Max. I think you can watch all of them there if you're in the United States. I think Netflix has them in Europe. All the Ghibli movies. But it's cool because, like, at the very top of this, it's a multi-floor building, and there's what do you call it? Like, zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. There's a rooftop where it has this giant robot here, and they've got a gift store where you can get all this exclusive stuff, toys and knickknacks and tchotchkes. So if you're into that, or you want to get some presents to bring home to somebody that you know likes these movies, this is definitely the place because you're going to get stuff that they don't sell anywhere else. But the character designs that Miyazaki comes up with these movies are just amazing. And it's funny because he always says, "Okay, this is my last movie. I'm going to retire," and then he comes back and he does another one. Just keeps coming out of retirement. Can't step away from it. Loves it too much. But I think the last few ones they weren't as interesting. At least not to me. But all the stuff that he did in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, amazing stuff. And definitely you should watch it if you're into film and you're into animation. And if you are going to Japan, put this on your list and get your tickets before you go. But there's a lot of really cool. There's tons of cool museums in Japan. This one just was something that really I needed to see. I was trying to go in 2014 and got tickets and everything, but that's when I broke my arm. So I titled my trip to Japan in 2018 unfinished business because I had a lot of stuff that I didn't get to see because the last week I was there, I was in the hospital. And one of the places that I missed was Ghibli Museum. So I'm glad I finally was able to go. And I could go again, but I really don't have to. I mean, I feel like once you see it, unless you're like a complete super fan, you've kind of seen it, so you don't have to go again. And they're actually building kind of like a amusement park that's based off of all the Miyazaki films, the Ghibli Museum, like uh, but like a amusement park with rides that are based on all the movies. So that's someplace I might want to see when that finally opens up. But that's going to be a while, and I don't think it's in Tokyo. I think it's like in a different area of Japan. So you have to really plot that trip out. Um, I have to draw out Totoro here because everybody knows Totoro. But this is a fun week looking back on just experiences I've had in Japan, and there's tons more, but I just figured I'd kind of go with the theme this week because like I'm doing a lot of this stuff in advance, so trying to think of like more themes because then I just go every day. I just sort of like what am I thinking about off the top of my head, and that's fine, but it's kind of more random. Whereas when I have time to think about it, I kind of start thinking about themes. Like the week before, I did all the Epcot stuff since we just recently went. But the area around the Ghibli Museum is really cool too. It's like this nice little suburb. I think it's called Mitaka, suburb of Japan. There's like a zoo that's really nearby. So if you want to go to the zoo, you can go to the zoo. And just the details of things in Japan are really interesting. Like in this area of Japan, you look down on the all the manhole covers. There's like artwork all over them. I think their Ghibli Museum is kind of all based on Ghibli. Just the cool little details in Japan. Even that stuff is just fun to look at. So I think it took like a few subway trains and light rails to get out there. It was not the easiest to get to, but definitely worth it. All right, zoom it on in here. I can only go zoom in so much. It's a thing. Because then I start missing something. I can. This is hard. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. I really am. So it's kind of more of a narrow drawing. I don't know how that worked out. But I think that should do it for today. And again, I do this Monday through Friday on YouTube and Facebook. On Saturdays, we post a poll where you get to vote on your favorite drawing from the week. And then on Sundays, my wife and I, we go live where I ink in and color up the sketch that you guys that won the vote on Saturday. And if you don't have time, you just kind of want to see the finished drawings that I did from the previous day, then check out my Instagram account, because that's where you can kind of just check those out if you don't have time or you just want to preview. And then if you want to get something different, like maybe you don't have that much time, I do time-lapse drawings. They're about 2.5 minutes long on TikTok. Completely different from these drawings. I take you all the way up through my inking process. And you can check those out there over on TikTok. So I'm on all 4 platforms. Also, if you're interested in merchandise, sketchy friendler merch, then go over to the amcprincessanna.com page, and there's a shop tab, and then there's a sketchy friendler collection where I've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, tumblers, mini tumblers, digital prints, which are not physical prints. They're prints that you download and you can print out either on just paper or canvas, or you can make them into stickers. You can make your own t-shirts with it. But that's up to you because they're digital prints for you to do with as you will. And that's pretty much it. I think this is it for the week. I can't wait to see which drawing you guys pick. It's always fun to see which ones you go with. But I will see you guys on Sunday if you want, and we can chat it up. I appreciate you as always. Also, be back next week with a whole new round of drawings. And I will see you again. Thank you so much. We'll zoom it in. Kind of take a look here. Go a little bit more detail. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.